In the headlines, residents flee as bandits invade Niger community and set houses ablaze. Residents scoop content as tanker overturns at Ojuelegba in Lagos. Army uncovers reservoir with 1 million liters of stolen crude oil in rivers. Away from Nigeria, the former Tunisian president Marzouki sentenced in absentia to 8 years in prison. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you for joining us. We'll start with security. Now, residents are fleeing as bandits invade the community of Polwaya near Bassa village in Chiroro local government area of Niger State, setting houses ablaze. And this follows an attack on the neighboring Bassa community where 2 individuals were killed and an unspecified number kidnapped during a Fidao prayer less than 48 hours ago. The attackers, arriving in large numbers on motorcycles, are currently setting houses on fire, with details of the ongoing attack still emerging. One resident speaking to our correspondent via telephone confirmed the invasion, stating bandits have invaded Polwaya village near Bassa, setting houses ablaze. Movement of the attackers was observed around 6:30 p.m. heading towards surrounding communities. Residents of the troubled communities in Chikun, Igabi and Birnungwari local government areas of Kaduna State have expressed their appreciation to the Nigerian army for the elimination of the notorious bandits Isiaku Boderi. Governor Obasani has assured continued support for the security forces in their efforts. Boderi, responsible for several high-profile attacks, including the kidnapping of Yauri school girls, Greenfield University, and breaching the Nigerian Defense Academy, the NDA, had instilled fear by abducting and killing many villagers and obstructing access to their farms. Community members now feel a sense of relief and anticipate being able to sleep peacefully to return to their villages. Also, they urge the security members to pursue Boderi's associates who are now demoralized. Now, the villagers along the Buruku-Birnungwari axis expressed happiness as Boderi's reign of terror has ended.
But now we are hoping that by the grace of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even those people that are living here with us, that means the villagers people who live their own area, talk less of these people that used to kidnap people. So we are hoping that by the grace of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then even now there are some people that started going back to their various destinations.
Is a clear message that whatever anyone is doing that is against national security, that is against security and safety of our citizens, is just a matter of time. No matter how long, the long hand of the law will actually catch up with whosoever that is a threat to national security.
Operational readiness of the troops. I've interacted with them to understand their state of morale and to also assess how they are poised and ready to continue to address the challenges we are confronted with in the area of responsibility. And I must tell you that I am quite impressed. I'm satisfied with what I've seen. The troops are ready, they are poised to discharge their responsibility.
A tanker laden with oil on Friday overturned in the Ojuelegba area of Lagos State, spilling its content. Despite the inherent danger, some residents of the area were spotted scooping the oil which spilled into the road. Emergency authorities, however, said no casualties were recorded, adding that efforts are in top gear to clear the area. According to them, both driver and assistant escaped unhurt. The incident involved a 33,000 liters tanker with a registration number AAL 250. Beg your pardon on that one. ZY, which was conveying engine oil but accidentally upturned while ascending the Daman Long Bridge and spilled its content. They added that mopping up exercise was still ongoing as a chemical foam compound was being expended to neutralize the oil components to avoid secondary incidents. Moving on from that, the 6th Division of the Nigerian Army, Port Harcourt in Rivers State, has uncovered yet another illegal oil refinery around Oka-Odagwa, Eche local government area with approximately 1 million liters of crude oil stored. According to the garrison commander of the 6th Division and Sector 3 commander of Operation Niger's Delta Safe, the Brigadier General E.U. Efyong, the reservoir was uncovered during a raid at Oka-Odagwa in Rivers State. He said the operation occurred in the same area where an illegal refinery was busted over a month ago. Brigadier Efyong revealed that due to the earlier raid by the military in the community, the suspects relocated and established another site. In this recent discovery, approximately 8 reservoirs and 5 cooking pots containing about 1 million liters of crude oil were found at the illegal refinery site. Nigerians continue to voice their concerns regarding the escalating cost of living, noting that it is exacerbating day by day, making it increasingly challenging for them to afford basic necessities like food. Now, they attributed the deteriorating economic conditions to the removal of fuel subsidy, the fluctuation of the Nigerian currency, and certain government policies implemented by the Tinubu-led administration. Silas Lowen reports from Yola.
The pervasive sentiment among Nigerians is that of hunger and hardship, with many struggling to put food on the table and going to bed with empty stomachs or insufficient nourishment. Children and women are disproportionately affected by this dire situation.
Yau kana iya sayan kaya yau gobe ka je ka samu ya tashi. Dalilin da yasa kai yanzu zaka yi ka sai kaya ka sayar a yanzu.
The prices of foodstuffs have skyrocketed compared to the past, fluctuating on a daily basis. When selling food products, one must add additional funds just to replenish the stock.
The alarming prevalence of hunger and deprivation has compelled many households to adopt strategies to reduce their meal frequency from the typical 3 square meals to just 2 or even 1, depending on their earnings. In Yola, for instance, a single measure of rice is being sold between 2,200, 2,400 and 2,600 naira, further exacerbating the economic strain on families.
Kayaki gaskiya kayaki sun yi tsada ba mu iya samu kamar yadda muke samu da. Kome yayi tsada.
I went to purchase some foodstuffs and I was shocked to find that prices had significantly increased compared to before. Maize prices have surged as I have prices for greens and virtually everything else, making them unaffordable. I urge the government to address this issue promptly and find solutions to the escalating cost of fuel and food commodities.
Mai yayi sauki, abinci yayi sauki, talaka ya samu abinci.
Yau bai isa ba ya ƙara kaya a kasuwa, dole abin da yake sayarwa wannan siyowa yake yi.
As a food seller in Yola market, I can attest to severe suffering people are experiencing, largely due to inflation and the soaring prices of food commodities. One effective solution I see is for the government to open the borders, allowing food to flow more freely into the country. Regrettably, the notion of enjoying 3 square meals a day has become a thing of the past in our country.
Ya za a ce abinci ya sauka, dole ne sai in gwamnati ta sa hannunta ciki ta dafa sai al'umma kuma su samu rahama.
Despite the prevailing economic difficulties, some stakeholders remain hopeful for a brighter future. They suggest that President Bola Tinubu issue a presidential order urging all political office holders at the national, state, and local government levels to voluntarily contribute 40% of their salaries and allowances for 2 years. This collective sacrifice is proposed as a measure to alleviate the suffering of Nigerians during these challenging times. Some have called on President Bola Tinubu to establish, as a matter of critical urgency, an independent judicial commission of inquiry. This commission will be mandated to conduct a thorough forensic investigation and recover all funds that have been looted, particularly over the last 12 years. Silas Lowen, Trust TV News, Yola.
Amidst the prevailing economic challenges nationwide, contracted health workers in Borno State are urging the state government to raise their salaries, emphasizing that their current earnings do not align with the current economic realities in Nigeria. Trust TV's Beatrice Kuruti has more in this report.
Today, like any other day, this hospital is seeing a high influx of patients, keeping medical workers occupied with consultations and diagnosis during peak hours. Among them, some are contractual staff striving to make ends meet. However, given the escalating cost of living due to economic challenges, the idea of requesting a pay rise looks like a no-brainer.
In normal circumstances, a retired staff is supposed to be paid according to government civil service rules and regulations, one level less. All the chief nursing officers are getting across the board same allowances, not contract salary. So we are appealing to His Excellency to adjust about review of our remuneration. And with the fashionable appeal of His Excellency, the Executive Governor, prior to appointment, we have accepted that offer. But with the present socio-economic predicament, we need our review. That is why.
Before when patient come to the hospital, they can spend from morning to 5 without being consulted. Now with the presence of the contact nurses, patients will be cleared around 12:1. Everybody has gone home. So problems is now solving really in every part of the job. In treatment room, in theater, in the ward, they are all doing it very well.
But so far, our impact has been very, very satisfactory, and it is very good. We've been putting in our best, and the patients are benefiting tremendously. So I think much will be done in order to improve the welfare of those participating in this project, so that we are calling on the government and those supposed to enhance this program to put in their best to see that at least they make a sort of relief, just far away from what is being shipped on as a stipend now.
Some patients benefiting from these health facilities are urging the state government to address the situation.
We enjoy the services rendered here because the health workers attend to us at the expected time. Before now, you will sit for hours and nobody will attend to you. I pray that they don't change the narrative no matter what happens, because the feelers I am getting are not encouraging. I also pray that the governor takes action in that regard. We were subjected to the challenges of not getting adequate medical attention. But when they returned the retired nurses, things became much easier, because even if you come early, you realize that people will still be waiting even at 5 p.m. We appeal to the state government to do something about it.
In the meantime, work will persist as usual, with the hope that salaries will be reconsidered in due course. Beatrice Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. Poor safety practices identified as a leading cause for gas explosion as residents call for restrictions. This and more after the break. Stay with us.
The present Kanuri people of Borno, descendants of the Saif Ibn Diyazan from Yemen.
Kanuri is an Arabic word. They said Asluhum Kanuri. Originally, they are like the light. People living in this area were not only the Kanuri, there were Kanumbus and other tribes, the Tubu. And even among the Kanuri, there were different dialects.
The Kanuris acquired a unique affinity for fine scents from the Arabs. They are renowned for their perfumery skills across northern Nigeria.
ɗinkin hula ya hana mu karatu. Gwanda mun bar ɗinkin hula mun je wajen karatu.
The Kanuris have remained resilient and resolute in their resolve to preserve the legacies of their ancestors through food, art, religion, and commerce.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. If you're just joining us, this is Trust News Update. Here's a recap of our top stories. Robochu residents flee as bandits invade Niger community and set houses ablaze. And residents scoop content as tanker overturns at Ojuelegba in Lagos. Moving on to more stories. Following the public hearing on the chieftaincy tussle of Takum local government. Okay, I beg your pardon from that one. Residents of Benue State are contemplating if Nigeria is progressing backward or forward in the energy sector. Now, those who speak to Jimmy Adzande in Makurdi are worried that in homes in urban areas, many families have adopted the charcoal alternative for cooking. The report.
In the time past, most urban settlers cook with the use of electric cooker, kerosene stove and later the cooking gas option. The high cost of living is gradually reversing the situation. As Makurdi residents say, the charcoal alternative is now the most affordable.
The bag of charcoal now is 6,000 naira. We are selling salad to 200 naira, and it's cheaper than gas because gas is kg now is 1,500, and that's why people are buying charcoal because it's better than the gas.
The use of charcoal for cooking has detrimental effects on the environment, particularly contributing to climate change.
They are out of reach of gas and kerosene. Initially, these products were available for them to use, but as it stands now, they can't afford it. The carbon monoxide that is emitted from the smoke that is coming out from there has a way of affecting humans, and so it's dangerous. It's dangerous, but then there's no option. But if we say that way, our ancestors have used this for a long period of time, but maybe it was it was really affecting them, but they didn't know. But now we realize that the carbon monoxide is dangerous to health. They don't know that it has a detrimental effect on the environment. And so I think the government needs to look that direction. Let's not just look the other way.
According to them, the economic hardship has pushed many people into charcoal business.
But going to charcoal, is that really the best? To me, I don't think it's not a way out to this situation, because this thing is affecting seriously, because it's one of the effects or the causative agents for climate change. People are steadily going into charcoal business now as business, not as a means of livelihood. Now you see a lot of them passing with charcoal, 5 bags on bikes. You know, that's the steady business they do throughout the year. They don't do any business apart from that. So that should be stopped.
Cutting down trees without replacement is a major cause of deforestation in Benue. Residents say the government can implement policies that can enhance an ecosystem across the country. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
With the recent surge in gas explosion across the country, Nigerians are proactively taking steps to prevent such tragic accidents. Authorities, including the Federal Fire Service, are emphasizing strict adherence to safety protocols when using gas cookers. However, for some residents in Gombe, the safest option is to discontinue using gas cookers altogether due to the potential consequences they cannot afford to bear. Hassan Koli brings us more in this report.
The recent spate of gas explosion in Nigeria has resulted in the loss of lives and the destruction of properties worth millions of naira nationwide. As a result, individuals utilizing gas for domestic purposes are now implementing precautionary measures, including reducing or discontinuing the use of gas cookers in their homes in order to prevent similar tragedies from occurring. I experienced so many accidents in my house, and I almost gave up using it because there was a time when my wife left it while cooking. It almost exploded, but fortunately, I was there and I helped her extinguish the fire. That is why I took extra measures by limiting the gas cooker usage in my house to avoid deadly accidents. For residents like Malam Al-Amin, the most effective method to mitigate the risks of gas cooker-related accidents is to refrain from using gas cookers altogether and seek alternative energy sources for domestic purposes. I was using a gas cooker in my house, but recent gas explosions in some parts of the country have compelled me to stop using it in my house because I think it is better for me to use firewood or charcoal than to end up losing my family and my house to gas cooker cylinder explosions. Reports have linked the recent surge in gas explosions in the country to a lack of adherence to basic safety standards, particularly the improper storage of cylinders in poorly ventilated areas and the proliferation of small-scale gas businesses in public spaces. Hassan Kohli, Trust TV News, Gombe.
In business, amid the continued fluctuation of the naira against the US dollar in foreign exchange market, the Central Bank of Nigeria says it is considering stopping street trading, among other fresh guidelines to bureau de change operators in Nigeria. The Apex Bank disclosed this on Friday in its draft revised regulatory and supervisory guidelines for bureau de change operations in Nigeria. The CBN plans to fix the minimum per capita share for Tier 1 and 2 BDC licenses to 2 billion naira and 500,000 million naira respectively. This is a move away from the previous 35 million naira per capita share for general license. The development comes amid a clampdown on illegal BDCs in Abuja, Lagos, Kano and Ibadan, Oyo State by the operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to stabilize the naira against the USD. At the close of work on Friday, the naira depreciated to 1,665.50 naira per US dollar from 1,571.31 naira on Thursday at the FNDQ market. Meanwhile, in the parallel market, the naira traded for 1,750 naira to 1,800 naira per USD on Friday, compared to 1,680 naira on Thursday. Away from Nigeria, former Tunisian President Monsef Marzouki was on Friday sentenced to 8 years in prison in absentia on charges of attacking state security and inciting citizens against each other. The official spokesman for the Court of First Instance, Mohamed Zaytoune, in a statement said the public prosecution authorized the court to open an investigative case against him on charges related to planning an attack intended to change the state structure, inciting residents to attack each other with weapons, and calling for the commission to act of murder and robbery. According to the court, the investigation followed statements made by the accused on social media. There was no comment from Marzouki regarding the ruling issued against him. On December 22, 2021, a local court issued a preliminary ruling to imprison Marzouki in absentia for 4 years on charges of attacking the state security. The former president had denied the charges. Commenting on the ruling, Marzouki said at the time on his Facebook page that it was, quote, issued by a miserable judge on the orders of an illegitimate president, covering the quote, referring to President Kais Saied. Marzouki, 78, served as Tunisia's president from 2011 to 2014. And finally, in sport, Rivers United on Saturday arrived Angola for the CAF Confederation Cup Match Day 5 clash against Academica Petroleus Club do Lobito. The pride of Rivers departed the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos on Friday night. Rivers United will lock horns with Academica Petroleus Club do Lobito at this Estadio 11 de Novembre on Sunday. Stanley Eguma's side defeated the same opponent 3-0 on March Day 1 at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium, Uyo. Academica Petroleo's Lobito are yet to record a point in 4 matches. Now Rivers United are third on the Group C table with 6 points. And with that, we wrap up News Update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.